¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Shit. Alright. Give me a second. Okay. This is Jacobo Hakovo. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I should just call myself Jacob. Should I? I mean, I live in America. I have to, like as an immigrant, I've spent like years of my life basically trying to kind of assimilate to the culture, and to do that, like one part of doing it is like when you have like a weird sounding name, you like need to you need to anglicize your name a little bit if your name is a bit too foreign. Oh god, no, that not foreign, but actually no, yeah, kind of foreign. Just finding some music. Finding some music. Finding some music. I am definitely not looking at pictures of Kat Dennings. No, that's not. I am a child of God. I do not thirst for pale skinned, dark, pale skinned, pale skin and curvy. Are you women? No. Black queens forever. Long chicks never. No, wait, what? No, fuck, God, no. What am I doing? Yeah, no, this is, I think, give me a second. Oren Ishii Snowfall. Oh wait, no, that's Kill Bill. Badass. Badass movie. She was hot. Anyway, One Heart and Raiden Shi? I don't know. Let's get started.
Hate seeing ads?
Fucking ads, dude. Nah. Is this good enough? How about some... You know what? I think I'm just gonna stick with Snowfall. Fuck it. So this is essentially kind of like after the election. You know, I think earlier today, when I was at training for a job, not a new job, just the same job, we have to do first aid and CPR training. And one thing that kind of made me laugh while I was at work was this this old Instagram clip. Or not old, it's not old. It's fairly new, but it's basically kind of a guy, very young guy in my age bracket, and he's he basically says, when Trump became president, I was 16 years old. Basically, we're kind of in the same camp. Yeah. We were in the same kind of boat. He's 25 now, and I'm weeks away. from being 25. And basically, for most of his like early 20s, Trump has just been nonstop. It's like people won't stop talking about him. People like he can't like he's so mired by the fucking noise that is this guy. And like he's our president now. Like he's our president. He's going to be our president for the next 4 fucking years. And I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, as much as I'm kind of like embarrassed that a reality TV show host is now our commander in chief, and has been our commander in chief, is kind of just it's just wild to me. But this is reality, I guess, and it's like I can see why Trump managed to get the W. This is good. This is good reference. Good reference. Amazing reference. Where was I? Oh yeah. Reference. Basically, this man has essentially dominated like the cultural zeitgeist for years, and it's like that's going to be his youth now. And no, that's going to be his entire 20s now. That's going to be my entire 20s now. I won't. I'm now in an age where people haven't just wouldn't shut the fuck up about he and the people who hate him just wouldn't shut the fuck up for like an entire decade. We're stuck with that now, and it sucks. And honestly, like I'd like to live in a world where we just don't talk about him as much, but that's not the case. So I don't know, maybe this is just the calm before the storm. The calm before everything just starts to break the fuck out and things start getting worse. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully things will get worse. I mean, he was president for like 4 years before, and it wasn't entirely bad, but then again, I don't know, maybe it kind of was, because like we had a pandemic and he handled that fucking horribly. And like people are kind of like mad and everything's more expensive. And it's like he said he'll fix that problem, but I don't think he will. And it's like I can see why he got elected. It's like, first off, piecing together a campaign is really hard to do, especially on a very short time frame, as a couple of months. It's like you had a pretty good pick for a vice president, but like in the end, like you still have like Trump still has like an entire voter base that's like male. And these are like young men who are like lost, angry, confused. They're lonelier than ever. They're not exactly like financially kind of like, up there. They feel like they have no purpose in life. They're not getting laid as they want to, as much as they want to. And it's like, yeah, it's no one's responsibility to kind of like, tend to the sexual needs of these men. of course. But like at the same time, it's like kind of makes sense because like essentially they were never given the space to essentially kind of be confident and bold and be leaders. You know, it's like that's kind of like, you know, that's kind of like, you know, that's what gets you laid. I feel like you have to be competent at something. That's the first thing. You have to be good at something, like say plumbing or art or like music or comedy. Like musicians and comedians, doesn't matter how fucking busted they look. Comedians, musicians, they get laid, they get asked all the time. You have to, you know, that has to be your source of confidence. And then you have to essentially kind of, you know, be bold and be a leader. You know, you have to be bold with it. You have to essentially just show it to everybody. You know, if you're a musician, you're gonna have to essentially kind of, you know, start a band, play some gigs, take some risks, and you have to, you know, essentially kind of lead that band to essentially, like, you know, be a leader in that band, like lead that band to essentially kind of like, you know, to better gigs, better, like, you know, I think, what are they called? Better fucking, those things, it's venues, better leads, better venues, bigger audiences, you know, and if you can do that, you know, it's like that makes you a leader. Like you're a competent, confident, bold leader, and chicks dig that. Like chicks really fucking are attracted to that, and they're like multiple examples. Like for example, I think my dad, like he was essentially kind of like a guy with kind of like a tech degree in DR. He had a lot of like jobs. There weren't a lot of like opportunities in DR. He kind of like, you know, he was a carpenter back in the Dominican Republic, but then he went to college, and then he decided to do something like really like bold and risky. Like he essentially went with grandma to start a new life in a very big country that he has like no he has no experience with. Like he doesn't know the language. He doesn't know anybody there. It's just him and his family. Him, I think Theo Alejandro, and like I'm not sure who was with Mama when they immigrated, but it was rough. But over time, you know, he managed to get a job, managed to help support himself and help in the family. He managed to go to college. Motherfucker. Sorry about that. He managed to go to college and get an IT degree, a COMPTIA plus degree, and after working for for a while in a post office, he managed to get a pretty decent job as an IT technician at a data center company in upstate New York. And then afterwards, you know, he met my mom back in the old country, and then, you know, basically he was like very smart, he was very confident, I assume, and they kind of like, you know, fell in love. They had yours truly, and then basically he was confident enough to essentially bring her back to the States and help her build a new life. And he kind of like, you know, on some capacity, led her, like he, like I don't want to sound misogynistic because, like, you know, it's like, because like it sounds like, you know, a bit patriarchal, like she's not capable herself a capable human being. But, you know, it's like he kind of, you know, he helped her, you know, adjust to life in America. He helped her get a better paying job. She was willing to take any job, be a maid, whatever. He was like, no, no, you can do better than that. Matter of fact, go to dental school, become a dental assistant. I'll pay for everything. Like basically, he was kind of like a leader. And even now, he had like leads a non-profit company in the old country, back to the home country, that essentially gives out tech apprenticeships to kids, to like Dominican kids who aren't as privileged as me or my sister, so they can compete in the job market. And like when you kind of like look at the list of accomplishments there, you can see why my parents have been married for as long as they have been. Or like, I don't know, like my uncle Alejandro, he was insanely confident. He was super bold. And as for leading, well, like he leads his own like window repair company. Like he, like the man, I can't put it into words. All I can say is that this man has 6 different kids from 6 different moms. So obviously he has like confidence, boldness, and leadership in spades. You know, and it's like, I don't know. It's like maybe we kind of like lost the plot when it comes to like, you know, how to be attractive as a man. Because like we always think like, oh, we need to be more alpha. Oh, we need to be more this, that. It's like yeah, okay, maybe, but like think about the most alpha dude. Like they're not. Where is the most alpha guy going to be? He's not going to be in the gym. He's not going to be in like the office making sales like Jordan Belfort, you know, Wall Street, you know, doing lewds, banging whores. No, he's not even going to be like, you know, like in the boxing ring with fucking Bugattis and shit. No, he's going to be in prison. The man's in prison because essentially like a lot of like alpha dudes, they tend to like not fit in very well with society. And of course, you know, these alpha dudes are kind of attractive because like they're very, very masculine. And like you do hear stories about, you know, about like female prison wardens having affairs with these prisoners, but in the end, they're still in prison. They threw their lives away. And not to mention, I think being, it doesn't matter how alpha you are, nothing beats being like, you know, nothing beats leadership. Because essentially you get to coordinate, you get to basically like, kind of like, you know, you get to kind of like use human effort to coordinate and like make something much more powerful than like, you know, fucking, I thought it was over. Fucking hell. And make something like, you know, that like just one dude, the singular man, can't just overpower. Like it doesn't matter how alpha you are. Like if you're like back in like tribal times, if you're like the most alpha like caveman dude who ever alphaed, like in the end, if you face off between a group of dudes, a group of rival tribesmen with sticks and with like sticks, like spears and like leather, you know, leather shields, I'm giving it to the rival tribesmen. I'm giving it to the group of guys with sticks every time, because nothing beats human collaboration. Like as humans, our biggest superpower is essentially just collaboration. It's the reason why like we have like these like big ass like, you know, blockbuster alien movies, and you know, and like there's kind of like this always just like this big rousing speech of like this guy of a president or like some general, like, we will not go up, quietly in the night. We'll stand together and rise up and all that shit. Because, it's like human collaboration is something like, is in and of itself like very like powerful. It's what wins wars. It's what builds skyscrapers. It's what wins elections. Like, stuff like that. It's what separates. It's what separates men like, say, Carl Winslow or like Winslow from guys like Andrew Tate. Being able to, be a strong, compassionate, confident man who can lead. And that's something that I feel like men and boys are like strongly lacking. Like, even in our education system. And I'm no better than this. Like, it's like in the education system, you're required to basically sit and be quiet and participate in the activities. And like, a lot of these boys are very antsy, very energetic, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, maybe like, you could have went outside, but at the same time, it's like, it's like he's very disruptive. It's it's a whole thing, but that's the reason why Trump is president. And sorry for the unintelligent rant. If I sound stupid, then, well, fuck it. It's not the first time I've humiliated myself on the internet. Man, Christ. I was 16 when I was 16. 6 fucking feet. Now I'm 25. Well, no, I'm about to be 25. Fuck. Where has the time gone? 5 more years and I'll be 30. That's terrifying. And it can't help but look back on who I was as a person. Because I recently saw old YouTube channel. It used to be called like Diversity in Comics, but now it's called Comics Matters, and it's like, I look back at that and I'm like, wow, I listened to this. It's like, I don't know, it's like, back in the day, there used to be these groups called like anti-SJW groups. There still are, but they're not exactly as like as like big as they used to be. And basically, there's Gamergate. There's like what we have now with movies, and now there was Comicsgate, and I was like a real Comicsgate guy back when I was in college. And just for context, before college, I was kind of like in a very depressive state. Like after high school, I would like when I was in high school, graduation was like this big event that was like a while away. Like when you're 14 in high school, you're not really thinking about about being a senior and graduating. You think that's gonna be like a long time, but then all those years pass. You would like live all these memories, the good times, the bad times, the laughs you shared with friends, the times where you were on the outs with your friends, or like for some reason because they were pissed off at you for most of the exactly did. It's just like. And then, you go for your senior trip, and you finally feel like you have everything down pat. You finally feel like there's that sense of belonging with your peers, and then you graduate, and then they're gone forever. You never see them again. Well, you see some of them again, but they're either on Facebook or it's just gonna be like a very awkward like interaction on the train. And it gets you thinking. It gets you thinking about mortality. It gets you thinking about death. And that's when the depressive state started. When I kept talking about death, I got into an existential spiral. And I think it's like, you know, stuff like that, like multitude of factors kind of went into why I went to that group, why I kind of glommed onto that group, sadly. But I feel like I can attribute it to mostly just that. Just mostly that. It's like, why do you need to grapple with the existential dread when you can just dunk on SJWs and make attack helicopter memes about gay people and trans people? And why do you need to, you know, maybe like seek counseling or take a break from take some time with yourself when you could just listen to a 40-year-old man rant about rant about pronouns in comic books and video games. In the end, that's still there. It still exists within me. Like, you know, it's like I can be kind of like a lore purist. Like it's jarring to me when they essentially just like take a character and they change the character's race, their sexuality. I hate that. But in the end, it's like, well, what can I do? They're a corporate product. I don't own the character. They can do whatever they want with it. And the best I can do is just not read it and just move on. Yeah, and it's like it's kind of funny because like I think diversity in comments for Comments Matter, like when he was like reviewing like Murder Falcon, like he has like one of my comments on his thumbnails, and it's like, as a person who wants to get in the industry, it's like, ugh, it's like, do I like, is that gonna be like, are they gonna find that, or are they gonna cancel me? You know, I mean, hopefully it shouldn't matter, because like, I was 19, like, I was frustrated, confused, struggling with existential stuff, you know. Then the Me Too movement just happened, and I was going kind of on some some stupid anti-feminist bit. It was like when you're 19, you can't help but be a jackass. And even then, it's like groups like that, like they have their charm, where it's like you meet like-minded people who may or may not be going through the same thing as you, and it's kind of like that Conor McGregor scene with Jake Gyllenhaal in like Roadhouse. It's like, wow, something's wrong with you. Oh, okay, me too. And it is just, I mean, hopefully, like, you know, they understand. Nah, screw them. So maybe anyway. And the reason why Trump became president. But, you know. By the way, this is sorry for going a long time without talking about my process or what this is. This is essentially a Japanese wrestler woman, and this is kind of like a test that I'm doing. To kind of like, it's a test of a new painting process, because Dave Raposa, like he has this new painting process, this like a program called Krita, and Krita uses Krita uses the chrome brush, which is right here. This is the chrome brush, and essentially you kind of like make a drawing with the chrome brush. You'll put in the flats, and then you transfer it over to Photoshop, and then you render. I don't know. I might have gotten that wrong, because he does a lot of like grayscale to color or color stuff, and I don't really do that. I don't really think that's like cool or fun. It's kind of lame to me. But yeah, no, I've been using Krita for like one project. This is a poster for the SVA not SVA. Jesus Christ, I would never go back there. This is the poster for the Art Students League Poster Challenge, where you essentially have to make a poster, and your instructor basically sends it to his connections in the industry. They judge it, and if you win, you get $250. And buddy, I want that 250. I want that $250. If you know what I'm talking about. And so far, like when it comes to this process, I have no complaints. It's really good. Really good. So I might have to do some more details back in Krita, because the thumb's missing, the rest of the chain is missing. I have yet to draw the arm. I'm just focused on like these two parts right now. I need to have some progress, and I'm also like I'm trying to get very fast. So it's like hey, what can I do about this? What can I do about that? What can I do about this, that, and the third? What can I change? Give me some critique from a senpai. Jesus, I fucking said that. But still. So far it's good. Because like at first I tried doing it head on, and this was the result. This was the result. I didn't like it. Like obviously this is like way better than whatever the fuck this is. This is leagues better. Leagues better. Holy fuck. This is just like I already knew I just had to start over again. I had to start over again. And so far, so good. Sorry about that. Gonna crack my knuckles and my feet. Yeah. Okay. I have to get physical soon. Like not a doctor's appointment. I need to invest in a physical activity, like biking or bouldering, or maybe dancing lessons. Something where I can meet chicks. Then again, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't put so much on meeting chicks, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be one of those comic artists, where it's like, I don't want to be like, it's like, I'm one of these comic artists and I don't have a wife. It's like, it's kind of lame. Like, I don't know. I feel like the best comic artists have wives. Daniel Warren Johnson, he has a wife. Sean Gordon Murphy, wife. Nick Pitarra, wife. I mean, yeah, Alex Ross would have a wife, but you know. And like Ed Piskor, he didn't have a wife, and look what happened to him. Poor bastard. Mark Millar, wife. And even then, it's like, my mom and my dad are like, you know, it's like, hey, you know, when you gonna find somebody? My aunt's like, hey, do you have a girlfriend? And it's like, nope. Nope, I don't. No, I don't. Because I'm a coward. Also, dating is pretty hard. And it's like, it's to the point where it's like, hey, well, what's your type? And it's like, you know, what type of woman do you like? What were like, you know, it's like, and it's like, well, like, I'd like all of them. Like, you know, it's like, all time, like, it's a very like cringy answer, but it's true. Like, I think like, no matter what race, like, you're pretty hot as a woman. Like, if you're hot, then like, you know, you're my type. Like, it doesn't matter if you're like white, you know, African, Latino, or Asian. If I find you physically attractive, you're my type. Like, I was pretty attracted to a counselor. Like, I worked the summer, and there was a counselor, like in her 20s, and she was like, I think she was like African American, and she had dreads. She was in like a different, you know, she was in a different like program than I was, but I always thought that she was very beautiful. I liked her braids, I liked her hair, and you know, it's when I was on the very last day of or when I was cleaning up, and I was like, when I was fooling around and joking around with like Jazz, she was laughing at all my jokes, and I was like, yes, fuck yeah. And then like, you know, it's like that's one of the girls that I like very much. Not like, had a crush on. How can I like her? I don't even know her. Then there was like that time at Comic-Con.
Dear Triathlon.
Fucking ads. There was like, how many fucking ads? It's always one of two. When's it gonna be two? But fuck this. I'm going to fucking ridiculous. Fucking bullshit ass ads. Everyone just trying to sell me something. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. Better. Then there was Comic-Con. Sorry for the outburst. I hate the internet. Yet I'm hopelessly addicted to it. It's a disease. Then there was Comic-Con. And oh god, if Jazz could hear this, she'd get on my ass. But there were two white girls. Yeah. Their names were like Sari and Terry, which, you know, it's like, yeah, their parents really got creative when they were naming them, huh? But like, you know, it's the reason why they're named that way is because like they're essentially just like two out of the 10 kids that their parents had. And for like context, like, well, hey, why so many siblings? They're in like North Carolina. It's a very kind of like, you know, it's like a very like, you know, kind of like cheap state to live in. It's like where the poor whites live, but over like it's like now with this climate, things are getting more expensive, especially there for them. And but essentially Sari and Terry, and you know, I thought they were pretty beautiful. I thought they were really hot. I liked both Sari and Terry. You know? Thick, curvy, white girls with cow hats from The Sims. And it's kind of funny she had that cow hat because they had some milkers. No, no, no. I'm just kidding. Or am I? You know, and I think, well, I think for I like Latinas, like, well, I've always had a crush. I've always had crushes on like them. It's like I grew up in a Latina neighborhood, no Latino neighborhood. Like the neighborhood that I live in is like literally called Little Dominican Republic. You know, my first quote unquote like my kindergarten, my childhood sweetheart, quote unquote, was Latina. I think. Well, no, not I think. I know. Most of my middle school crushes were Latina. Some of my high school crushes. It's, it's, of course. And like Asian, well, of course, like, I've always liked them. You know, it's they're pretty attractive. You see some of them, and they're pretty attractive. I liked everyone. Does that make me a man whore with no standards? Maybe, but it is what it is. I don't know.
I got used to the feeling of rejection.
God damn it! Fucking ads. I don't know. And I hope I don't. I like when I say this, I don't come off as like a, you know, as like a fetishist. Like I'm not trying to fetishize any woman of any race. I'm not trying to fetishize white chicks. I'm not trying to fetishize Asian chicks, because like Asian chicks have been like really fetishized. They've been fetishized a lot. And that's pretty terrible. You know. And I was always, like, at the risk of sounding like I was always curious. It's like, hey, what could that be? And it's like, obviously, it's like, hey, it's like dating a regular person. But I don't know. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's like it's the built-in like otherness when it comes to like racial, like when it comes to like dealing with people with other races. It's like you like dealing with like other cultures. It's like you never really kind of like. It's like they look different than you. They speak a different language than you. Their culture's like different than yours. Where like it's very fascinating, and you can't help but like just put an otherness on that other human being, and that kind of leads to like a like some kind of fetishization, because like essentially it's like, oh, you think that they're a certain way, and they're not. They never were. It's like you think that Asian chicks are like demure and submissive and so cool, so shy, and so this and that, when it's like, no, they're not. They're not. They're not like Hatsune Miku or like the body pillow that you have in your room. They're not gonna be impressed by your fucking swords. They're not gonna. You're not Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai. You're not even Keanu Reeves from Ronin. Actually, no. Let's reverse that, because like Keanu Reeves is actually Asian, and Tom Cruise is still a white guy. You're not Keanu Reeves from Ronin. You're not even like Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai. You're just the dweeb with who overpaid for a shitty pawn shop katana, and now you're trying to, you know, impress people. In reality, you're just scaring them off. Your sword collection, it's scaring the hoes. No, but I've always like found Asian women to be very beautiful, very like, you know. I found most women to be very beautiful. You know, I don't know. Is it? I don't really have a racial type. I maybe have a body type, but then again, I don't know. It's kind of weird because, like, you know, it's like with porn, like it's like an all-you-can-jerk-off to buffet, and it's like you start to see with porn, it's like it's kind of sad, but like you kind of start to see like these different cultures, like, you know, it's like as like these like buffet options, like today I'll have the BBW Ebony and then the PAWG white girl, you know, the fat ass white girl with some thick Latina sauce and thick Asian lo mein. Like it's like you're not seeing these people as humans. You're just it's you know, it's a whole thing. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, then, you know. How is my painting looking? No one? Imagine just looking at like races of people as a buffet, like when you're on porn. You're just like spoiled for choice. Mauricio, grab the good sock. Tonight, I'm having Asian. Prepare the Gooning Cave. My Instagram reel just showed me some new sauce. They gave me a new link for a Japanese adult video, and I plan on sampling the culture. Oh, God. That's so fucked up. Let's talk about something less gross. Japanese wrestling. Japanese wrestling is actually really cool. Like, the hits are real. Not to mention it's pretty funny. Not to mention, like, there's like, I think there's like a new Netflix story about like a woman heel from Japan. It's called Queen of the Villains, and it's pretty fucking awesome. It's pretty based. Amazing storytelling. It's about this essentially like shy girl from I assume Osaka, and she comes from like a very abusive household. She has a very absent alcoholic father and a very passive submissive mom who just takes the abuse. And essentially, you know, she wants to be, you know, this wrestler, because essentially, like, when she went through a very traumatic event in her childhood when her mom was confronting your dad about, you know, about her, like, about him cheating on her and abandoning her and basically like starting like having a baby and naming it the same name as the daughter that he already has, like her, the main character. She essentially just runs off, just traumatized and just crying her eyes out, and then she trips, she hurts herself, and a Japanese dwarf from like who works with the wrestling company, basically like takes her in, and they basically takes her in, sits her down at I think the bleachers of like some gym, or maybe she just stands there, and she witnesses like essentially like these two like Japanese lady wrestlers just training, and she's just mesmerized by it, and she just loves it. Like she was like from like the beginning just on the sidelines cheering and like idolizing these wrestlers, and she like in her heart of hearts wants nothing more than to be them. And now she's kind of like down that path where she's kind of like because of her, or despite how nice she is, she keeps on like getting discounted or left behind or taken advantage of, and that leads her to like having a very successful career as a heel, because it's like, hey, being a villain is pretty easy when you're on your villain arc, but over time she just starts losing friends because of how seriously she takes it. Like she's become often very violent in her own matches, and she is often very kind of like, I don't know, it's bordering kind of like on abuse to like her teammates, and it's kind of like her slowly just losing herself as she descends into this character that she made up for herself, the heel called Dump. And it's really good. I love this TV show. I hope to make more Japanese dramas about wrestling, because honestly, it's one of the most like the Japanese wrestling scene is, I think, some of the most interesting things about, like, I think one of the most interesting like micro pockets in like their culture. Yeah, you can like talk about like say like anime or maybe like samurai, and those are pretty cool. But it's like Japanese wrestling is kind of like a gem that you just happen upon, and it's different. It's really cool. Not to mention, it's kind of like the complete antithesis of Japanese culture, where it's like everything's kind of like just like everything's kind of like reputation based. You have to kind of like be proper. You have to be respectful. You have to kind of like don't be brash. Don't rock the boat. Like essentially, it's like don't be brash. Don't rock the boat. Be a good boy or be a good girl. Get good grades. Get a good job. Go to a decent school. Get a job as a salaryman or a secretary or whatever the fuck, like a software engineer at a big company. Then meet a girl and essentially like make more workers for our dying population. And it's like Japanese wrestling, it's like it's like the opposite. It's like, nah, fuck that. It's like they're kind of like these figures that are like very like larger than life. They're kind of like it's like there's this oh my god, this clip of like this Japanese wrestler, and he's like on, I think, like the corner. He's standing on like the corner of the ring, and like these two Japanese like wrestlers are advancing at him, and he pulls out a gun. And like he's a stick up, like the guy, like the Japanese wrestler was advancing. He stops and shoots his hands up. It's like, oh, and then next thing you know, the other one like tries to advance. He takes the entire ring fucking hostage, and he runs away. That's amazing. And it's like that's just so cool. Like Japanese wrestling is pretty cool, and I think it's a very kind of like underrated like gem. Honestly, it's like WWE is amazing, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like Japanese wrestling. I would have loved Japanese wrestling as a kid. I'm kind of sad that I'm discovering it now. Honestly, I think one of my greatest, like, I'd like to go to Japan, not because of, like, like anime bullshit or anything. Thing. I'd like to go because I'd like to see a wrestling match in person. Also, female lady wrestlers are pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Nikki Lyons, like female luchadors. You see those Instagram reel clips where they kind of like have like a male wrestler on the corner and he's down and then they just charge at him and they turn and they just shove their ass in his face. That's hot to me. I know I sound down bad. Just bear with me. And it's like, it's like Japanese women wrestlers. Like, wow, it's like they got some like they're pretty. They got some like meat on their bones. You know. But enough about me being being a gooner, being a fucking disgusting wretch. This is honestly kind of good. I like this. Recently I thought that my skills have atrophied, and they have to some capacity, but I feel like this process has been a huge help. Because so far, it doesn't it gives me it gives me something to build from. I don't have to guess as much. Because when Photoshop, I just go, I try to, I try to build. I try to basically do line art, but then I just go straight to rendering, and it just I get impatient. I get really impatient, and I have to guess a lot, and it affects the painting process, and that's not good. This helps because I don't have to guess. It gives me a solid foundation, and now I can be able to make more solid paintings, and this is great. Yeah, I've also been on on a Japan kick. I've been watching a lot of dating in Japan videos, which it's a bad sign. I don't know. It's like I don't want to sound like I have an Asian fetish, but look, the more and more I talk, it's like it screams, I have a fetish. Yeah, but no, it's like it's fascinating. I can't help you can't help but dating is fascinating to me, especially mixed race dating, because I don't know, it's one, you don't get curious, you don't you've never seen a person that wasn't your race and thought that she was insanely beautiful, you've never you've never had a crush on you've never had, as a person of color, had a huge crush on a white person, or an Asian person, or a person from the Netherlands or something, or it's you've never thought, what if? I do. More than I think it's healthy, but it still happens. And not to mention, it's we kind of live in a, kind of live in a, say, melting pot culture. Mixed race relationships are becoming more and more common. And that's something very interesting to me. I don't know why. Maybe for the right reason. Maybe for a more unhealthy reason, but it's just interesting to me. obviously it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, but you know, I don't know. Race is still like due to like the political landscape in our history. It's this thing that obviously has sway, cultural sway, and like it's, you know. Also, I need to finish a comic and like send it to Tim Seeley, my editor. Like just basically show him that I still, you know, that I still remember him, and like hopefully he still remembers me from Comic Con. He obviously doesn't at this point because I pussied out like a fucking coward. I didn't show him my stuff, but like maybe like I could just send him a page, and he can just remember. It's like, hey, Jeff Darrow, hey, Tim Seeley, it's Jacob, you know, from Comic Con. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. It took a bit too long to you know, to basically send you or anything, but hey, this is what I've been working on so far, and you know, you know, just so you know, I'm still, you know, still practicing, still on that grind, and you know, maybe if you have like a job in mind for me, you know, you can, you know, keep in touch. I don't know. Also met Maria Wolf. She's an inspiration. Because like essentially it's like at first like she's like a very sought after, I don't know, like she's a very popular cover artist. And she got into the industry at the age of like 30, like 29. And like people really love her covers, her work. And she's like very smart, very business oriented. Like basically like as I was you know, making work, like, you know, as I was like, she was like, you know, like, okay, no, maybe this is a story. Basically, she was kind of like in a very rough spot before she got into comics. Like she was like in debt. Things were pretty hard for her. She was like running from like say debt collectors because she had to go to court, and now she's kind of like, you know, she's in the business. She's, you know, making decent covers, making amazing sales, eking out a living, a good living. And it's like she's very business oriented. She's very smart. She's very supportive. She's very kind. Like she went through my stuff and she loved it. Well, I'm not saying I don't want to toot my own horn. She was very positive. The reception was very positive. She loved. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say she responded well to my work, specifically my Warhammer stuff and my Sabretooth painting. And that was fun. That was awesome. I love that. My one regret was that I didn't show my work to Frank Cho, because Frank Cho was rough on me, and it's like he called my work amateurish, and I never forgot about that. And I wanted to basically like, you know, go back and say, it's like, how am I doing now? Am I less, you know, like, am I professional grade? Like, am I still there yet? Am I like how good of a sword am I? Like, do I still need some time in the fire? Do I still need to be beaten by the fucking hammer, like put into the coals, put through like the ringer again and again and again, or am I ready for battle? Like, am I like, you know, am I a sword, like, am I like, you know, am I the type of sword that, you know, like in the right hands can cut down a tree with one swing? Like, you know, stuff like that. Or, you know, it's still good. I gotta finish stuff though. I'm scared that they won't remember me. They probably won't. I pussied out. And even then, it's like, God damn it, I have to fucking. I now have to like. I'm still gonna pay off my student loans. Like, don't get me wrong. And I might have to like get a job as a paraprofessional. That's obviously something I need to do. That's my mom. Of course, she's always talking, blathering, always yapping. For fuck's sake. Nothing changes. You know what? Sorry about that. I need to go to the bathroom, take a crap. Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Perfect. Okay, back. I did a number 2. I wiped and washed my hands like a good boy. Let's get back to it. Okay. Does this look like a woman? I hope it looks like a woman. Maybe I should, I don't know, I need some reference. I need some reference of women in this specific pose, but I can't find any. I would, I don't know. And, you know, it's kind of funny. I saw some reference of I went through a Pinterest board, and I think there was like a certain actress from The Acolyte, and it's like, yeah, I know a lot of like Star Wars fans are pissed at her, but there is that one photo of her at the red carpet, and she was like in this like little dress, and she looked good, dude. Like golly. Like if the show was just that, if just her like in like a like if they put her in like a slave Leia bra, that thing would go gangbusters. Because we just, you know, it's like that would just, you know, she's, no offense, I don't mean to come off as like, you know, misogynistic, or, you know, I don't want to like come off as like a woman objectifier. I mean, fuck it, too late, too late, too late. Nah, too late. But she's also very beautiful. She's also like super hot. Okay. Okay, looking at my Pinterest board, not a lot of Asian chicks. Not a lot of Asian chicks. Gotta change that. Gotta change that. Representation matters. Okay, Japanese wrestler. Hey. Oh, hold on, hold on. This is perfect. You gotta look at some of these Japanese female wrestlers, though. They kind of fire. They're kind of hot. They're pretty hot. She's kind of hot, though. Yeah, she's kind of hot, though. It's like, nah, fuck that hot Asian guy. No, we need more of the main character, and put her in a slave Leia costume. Have her sword fight in a fight on a wet beach. That'll that'll bring the franchise back. Female empowerment. We could even, like, you know, have him step on. You can have her step on me. Female empowerment, female representation, feminism. No, God. instead of the guy from instead of force choking the man from Stranger, or not Stranger Things, from Squid Game, just instead just do that to me. And as she's doing it, just spit in my mouth. Okay, that's enough. Nah, I need to go to horny jail. I need to get. I am being down bad on the stream, bro. This is not. This is not good. I've also recently got into Golden Boy. Oh, dude. That show is awesome. Fucking Golden Boy. It's like it's the only anime where the English dub is better than the Japanese dub. Where it's like the hot, CEO lady basically just rips up his fucking notebook and is like, "No! That knowledge was priceless! All I've learned in my time here was in this book," and he showed her the book, and it's just picture doodles of like her in a bikini, and him writing, "Women are scary," and she just gets even more pissed off, and he's like, "Oh shit," and then she just beats the fuck out of him. Oh man, I relate to that guy. Deku, no, I don't relate to him. I don't relate to Naruto, Deku, Goku. Nah, him. I relate to him. He is literally me. No, that knowledge was priceless. It's, where else am I gonna learn this amazing knowledge? Oh nope, that's the scandalous drawings. That oh no, oh, those are ignore that. That right here. It's like, no, that knowledge was priceless. Oh, shit. I would love for Dave Raposa to make some fan art of him. Make fan art of Golden Boy from the 90s TV show Golden Boy. Study. It's him on that bike. Study. God. Him going, "Yes, my queen! Punish me, queen!" Him just being down bad. He's the most relatable character. Because I'm him. It's like, I am down bad. I think the best artists have to be the most down bad dudes because they're like inside all the time and they're like so horny all the time. Like Robert Crumb, he was obviously down bad. Like his comics were kind of like very like pornographic and very like misogynistic. Because like basically like as like from a very young age, he felt like rejected and like abused, and he was into his credit. No, not into his and no, not to his credit, like, and to like and to kind of like his not that benefit or like to he was I'm trying to say that he had an abusive mom, an abusive father, a negligent mother. His brother was mercilessly just fucking assaulted in fucking school. People just cheated on. They just ate it up. Girls fucking ate it up too. Oh, they were like talking about how cute the bully was when it was like beating him down. It's like, and he just hated society and he just fucking hated women, which is sad. And he made some pretty like pretty well rendered but very misogynistic comics with women, and they all had like fat asses and like very like you know um, very muscular thighs and like very like very voluptuous chesticles, and they were actually like pretty good. Like he was like he put his kind of like his like anger and like it was art. That's what I'm trying to say. And then there's Kim Jong Gi. Like he has an entire fucking sketchbook dedicated to him being down bad. And like you could see some of the drawings that he's made, and it's wow. It's like damn. It's like wow. Whoo boy. That's I wouldn't want I wouldn't show any of the kids. And like I know I wouldn't show anybody this. This is very like not safe for work. He would always draw women naked. Like he has all this naughty energy. I feel like all the best artists are super horny. I feel like in modern day Robert Crumb would be like kind of like a 4chan poster, and he'd be like a pretty good NSFW artist. He'd be like Shadman, but nah, he'd be exactly like Shadman. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's obviously a bad thing because like Shadman made a lot of erotic material, erotic content with girls that were very questionably aged, and that's not really a good thing. I don't know. He has a very like it's. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the more positive example is just Kim Jong Gi, because like I think he had to have like some, positive view of women. Like he's not just because he like draws a lot of like women in suggestive, you know, in suggestive, very like raunchy subject matter. Like it doesn't mean that he's misogynistic. He still managed to get married and have kids. God rest his soul. So is that the case for me? Am I down bad? I mean, I did like talk about like girls all the time in this stream. I feel like I need to move on and really just work on the poster. Fuck it. I'll get back to the Asian, like not Asian, Japanese wrestler later. Now back to you, my son. 'Cause you are gonna win me that 250. I hope the pay for this week is better than last. I mean, I still got paid like around 500. It's 494, but still, I'd like to reach the 500 mark. think I'm gonna wait till like I think the mid to end of the month to make another payment for my student loan debt, because I can make bigger payments. I'm also gonna have to sign into my WestTab email to get in to sign the RSVP for the Christmas party, because they pay you extra if you show up, and I would like the money so I can pay off everything and finally do what I want. distracted. Let's get started. Give me a second. I'm going to crack my feet again. Wait, hold on. Is this thing on? It's on. Cool. Oh. Hey, nope, there it is. Yep, it's there again. This is the price of being in your mid-20s. And I live with my parents. Fuck me. Let's get back on it. Get the pen working. Okay, where's the reference? I need the reference again. Gimme. Give me the reference, please. Where's the boxer? Where's the Korean boxer guy? Oh, there he is. Bakgu 60. I don't know what that is. Let's get started. cares? Who gives a fuck?
Goodbye, gravity. It's your universe. At Northwell's car.
Oh, okay, good.
Come celebrate the season with Target. Join us at Target Wonderland, a totally free and festive experience for all. Journey your way through a fantastical forest of fun. with brands like Hasbro, Lego, Maybelline, and Essie. Build your wish list with Bullseye's top toys, snack on sweet treats, and so much more. Located at Chelsea Industrial November 16th and 17th. Learn more at target.com/Wonderland New York.
Yeah, I think this is good enough, right? No one's watching anyway. So, let's just see what we got here so far. This is obviously going to be way further in progress. Later on in the month or year, it's going to be better. It's going to be cooler. So help me God. When I come back in, $250 richer, I'm going to be in the lap. I'm going to be patting myself on the back. And by doing that, I'm going to, furiously masturbating. Nah,